Okay, so for this first strength day, we're working on deadlifts, figuring out how much weight we can actually lift in a safe, secure deadlift. I call it a low-skill activity, but of course you want to practice it and build your confidence up with it. And you probably might not have matching kettlebells, you might not have a barbell, so you're going to work with what you have if this is your first session, and then as you keep coming back to this workout, you'll upgrade as you see fit and as you learn about this movement. So I've set up my 2 kettlebells, and I also highly recommend a notebook where you keep track of what you're doing so that when you come back next time, you remember what you did and you can work from there. It's good information, especially if you take a break and then come back. The idea is to do this once a week. So you'll stand on top of your kettlebells, lining them up as though they're a barbell almost, and then you'll hinge at the hips, looking up at the horizon. You'll pre-pull, just making sure you know what you're doing. Of course, you've already placed them there. You'll pack your shoulders back and down, grip into your heels, hamstrings, and glutes. Inhale, whoop, exhale. And just pause at the top to feel that. Feel the weight, feel your posture. If it feels good, come on down. And you're gonna go for about 5. So if you can't get 5, it's probably too heavy for your start weight. Just one at a time, checking it out. This is your warm-up weight. I've got 70 pounds here, testing things out, but I know that I can lift this because I'm used to lifting a barbell loaded up to 95 pounds as my start weight. Here's 5, holding at the top, hip hinging, and parking down. So just a little pause at the top with the lighter weights so that you realize that the hardest part is the pull. We're now taking a couple minutes break, so you'll have a chance to rest and digest. Even if you don't feel like you need it, you need it. So give yourself a chance. If it's very light, you wouldn't need quite as long of a break, but we'll try to take 2-minute breaks at least in between intervals. So see how that feels. How did that go? Did it feel good in your back? It's a new thing for a lot of people to understand the feeling of working your back. It's a muscle like other ones, but I think we get nervous about our backs for lots of reasons. And so realize that you're strengthening this muscle. Don't go all out. If this is your first time doing heavy deadlifts, just go easy today. And then as you come back, each week, once a week, you'll lift heavy and you'll try it out again, okay? So you can move those aside if you feel like your starter weights were okay. You're moving those aside, and then you're replacing them with your next set of bells. In the old days, and I'm intentionally talking, I wish I had my timer. I'm intentionally talking because we want these breaks. And don't rush it, okay? I repeat, don't rush this process. I'll show you from the side this time. I've added up the weights that I've chosen beforehand, so I already know that my second set is now 88 pounds. And I know that I'm capable of doing this. But you might just do 3 lifts today if you're checking out something, or you might just do 1, and that is totally fine. You're getting acquainted with this movement. It's very new for a lot of us. So, or new with heavy weights, in fact, right? You've been doing lots of hip hinges, but maybe not lots of heavy deadlifts. So give your body a chance to adapt. You're grounding your feet down, you're standing tall, you're hip hinging, looking up at the horizon, finding your kettlebell handles like it's a barbell. Then when you're ready, you'll inhale and exhale to lift. You might pause at the top, it felt good, you'll go again. Aligning yourself. Squeeze your glutes. And each one should be pretty challenging. Up, and down. And there's a few things. So I typically This is good. My timer is exactly at 25, so I'll know exactly 2 minutes. There's a few things. So when I typically use my barbell, I actually do the classic stance, or a conventional stance it's called. I was doing a sumo stance with this. So for me, I haven't really trained my sumo deadlift. So that's a thing. We're doing sumo just because we have to, because of space, unless we're doing a suitcase pickup, which is also a way, which you can play with. But I'd say stick with one and own it, get really used to it, and then you'll progress as you go. So maybe there's a little bit of experimentation today, and that's a good thing. Experiment, see how you feel. How does your back feel? Were you squeezing your glutes? Get to know the strength of your glutes and your hamstrings through this exercise. It is a safe, reliable exercise. When it's done well, you are safe, but lift the amount that's appropriate for you. And for the first couple weeks, don't go too heavy. So like I say, I've got lots of experience doing this. I know what I can lift. I know how my body sort of regularly feels, should feel like, all of those things. And so you're getting acquainted with that for yourself. Take a breath. Got 30 more seconds in this 2-minute break. And you're deciding what you're going to lift next. I have my plans laid out for me. So I'm gonna next go to my 253s, so 106 pounds for me. Like I was saying, in the old days, we used just to do 5, 3, and then 2 lifts, and that was it, 10 in total. So I'm only gonna do 3 lifts with this, so you're not supposed to be following along with me. I'm guiding you, you're working out, and you're on your own, really present with your own body, your own breath. You'll get ready when you're ready. It's been a couple minutes. And you'll do your 1, 2, or 3 lifts with your next option. If they're uneven, you're working to even things out. It's a really good thing. Just be mindful of that. Inhale. Okay, and like I say, the sumo is new for me. So, I actually came into this sort of not thinking about that, so I'm getting to know how that feels. And then you're writing it down. So I've pre-written these down. I knew I was gonna do 5 lifts with that 88 pounds. I knew I was gonna do 5 lifts with, I didn't do that round. So with 106 pounds, I did 3 lifts. You want to start to reduce the volume because we're going heavy and we can't do a whole lot of lifts when we go heavy. This is pure strength building and this is how we do it. This is the way to get stronger and it's what your bones and muscle tissue needs, I promise. And you might even get this endorphin rush just from lifting in your cardiovascular system. Everything gets stimulated lifting heavy. But if it's so light that you could lift it 1,000,000 times, it's too light. We're not really deadlifting anymore. We're doing something different. We save that for our kettlebell swings and other movements and for play to do high repetitions. But right now we're doing low volume, low repetition work. Quality is the priority. So I am now replacing, so I'm gonna do the unevens with you. I'm replacing 1 because I don't have anything double sets heavier than 224s. So now I'm gonna do uneven bells. So this will be an experiment for me. And I've written down the weight, so make sure you do the math. Don't mess around with this. You don't wanna just guess what you're lifting. You wanna know what you are lifting. You'll gather your strength in, pre-lift it, stand up, own it, and come down. And so I'm gonna be lifting 95 pounds, which, as I mentioned before, is my starter barbell weight, but I don't do it sumo stance. So you know what? Maybe I'm gonna play with my conventional stance, because that's what I'm used to. And let's see how it goes. I carried them over here with 2 hands. All right, so it's been enough time. You'll take a breath, and then you'll try lifting 1, 2, maybe 3 times, depending on where you're at in this. Inhale. Exhale. This feels good to me. I'm going to do 5. I'm going to own it at the top, and I'll park it down. Make sure you save energy to park it down carefully. Don't drop it on your toes. Make sure you feel safe. Get everything organized. Bare feet is good, grippy. You might wear a training shoe if you're into that, but I recommend working on your bare feet and that strength in these simple single lifts. Just a very efficient quality effort that you're doing. Okay, so at 18, it'll be 2 minutes. So I did 5 because I went back to my conventional stance. I feel much more comfortable with my conventional stance. Most people actually are stronger in sumo stance with wide feet. So if that's you, stick with the sumo stance. I just, over the years, have gravitated towards the conventional. It's only one I ever really deadlift, other than when I'm walking around with kettlebells. So write that down. How much weight, the total amount of weight was, and how many reps you did. And then you decide, was that good? Maybe you got to a weight that you feel really good and you want to try one more lift. I am going to now, I had this little plan. I'm going to do the plan. So I'm going to go 32 plus 28. So I'm not doing a big jump, but it's a decent jump from 95 pounds now. No, 124 pounds to 133 pounds. I'm losing track of my numbers here. But I know what I'm lifting. So I've now got 124 pounds. Like I say, make sure and double check. Don't just guess. 71 and 62. No, so it's good I checked. I knew there was something off. My plan was to replace the 28 with the 24. So this is good that this happened because I want you to know, to be cautious, because like I say, this should have been 124. It's like, oh no, that's 133. No, I want to test this out because it's uneven. I don't want to go too heavy. I'm not used to lifting kettlebells in this way that often and for lots of reps. So give it a go when you're ready, get things organized. Try for a single rep and then maybe 1 or 2 more. Inhale. Pausing at the top if that feels good. Total amount of weight. That felt good. And we want to leave it on a good note. Don't try to do more reps because you think you need to do more reps. Keep it low volume. We've already done a lot of repetitions. Like I've done already 5, 10, 11, 12, 13, 18, 21 reps because I started with those 16s. I didn't think I was going to start with the 16s. And so I kind of messed up my schedule there. So we're going to do 1 more, and that will be it for today for deadlifts. If you're craving or needing to work on another skill, you can do the next video, but I highly recommend just spending some time with deadlifts and working your way up to the heaviest weight that you might lift on a given day and coming back to this and keeping it really simple, because then you have worked out and maybe it's like a day mentally you really don't want to do some jumping around or whatever. So you're just going to lift heavy and know that you've done something really good for your posterior chain, for your back, your legs, and then you'll see how you feel tomorrow, and that will give you good information. Okay, so you'll set yourself up for your final lift. I want to do right, left. And so making that decision for yourself, you could, maybe I'll do this. So I'll flip around so my bum isn't facing you. So I'll go one lift, and then my next lift, I'm going to spin around. So that's an option if you're doing single uneven bells, right? So I've got a 32 and a 28. Total amount of weight is 133 pounds. Double check to see what you're lifting. Of course, you've ordered your kettlebells and know what they weigh, so you should have a good idea. And you've probably picked them up with one arm before, but now it's double the amount of weight because we typically don't carry both heavy bells at one time. I don't. And Eric, once, he carried them for me from his studio to my studio, and he wasn't even that far. And he was so sore carrying these two bells. He walked all the way with them. So it does add up. It doesn't always feel like it in the moment. So don't go too crazy again if this is your first time. Just keep it chill. It's a hit to your nervous system. And then you can put it away and be done for the day. So I'm going to stand in my on top of the barbell imagining position. I'm doing my suitcase lifts because I want my legs narrow, because that's how I like to lift. If you like to do the sumo, you're doing the sumo stance, so you're doing that. And you're just doing one at a time, singles now, right? So we're just going for our max effort with a single lift. Inhale. And practicing your technique. I'm going to do one the other way, heavy in the right, light in the left. Park that down. And that feels good. I'm going to call it, even though, I kind of want to try more. It's better to go, especially if you're new to this, like I say, it's better to err on the side of caution. We don't need to do more than we need to do. Add up how many reps you have done now. So take that moment. I've done 5, I did 3 with that 106. Then I changed my stance. I did 5 with those. I did 3, and I did 2. 5, 10, 15. I did 22 lifts, right? It doesn't seem like we did all that much work, but you did a lot of work. I need to turn my heater off. And so write it down. Get a logbook. Do this once a week. Try to deadlift once a week throughout your lifetime. That's it. That's all. You'll build up your overall capacity for strength in all of your other movements. It's a simple tool, and it's the strongest movement in the human body. And I'd say the lowest level skill in some ways, once you've learned your hip hinge, which you guys all have, and you've done all your homework with that spine neutral. So that should be feeling really, really good. Carry your bells away and come back for a cool down and rest and digest.